Hi, welcome to mywealth.com. I'm Mike Conlon. I'm one of the senior instructors with the courses. Welcome to today's blog. Today's blog is entitled Interest Rates and Politics. Alright, so I don't know about you folks, but I don't usually get the chance to watch television when I'm here at work, instructing and leading our courses. Okay, but yesterday I was actually working from home, and I had the pleasure of pursuing one of my favorite pastimes, and that is watching the guys on CNBC. It always strikes me as funny because from time to time they'll trot out some guest who invariably puts their foot in their mouth, and yesterday it didn't disappoint me at all. Yesterday I was watching, and there was a congresswoman from one of the states. I'm not going to name names, but she was the person who became the object of my laughter. Okay, basically she came on and she was complaining about the rising price of oil. Now, we all know that high oil prices isn't good for anybody, but what she was saying was that somehow we needed to have more regulation here in the U.S., okay, and that was what was causing the price of oil to go up, that it was speculators and evildoers. Okay, now she was talking about something that they call dark markets. Dark markets are basically just over-the-counter traded markets, the same way that the NASDAQ's an over-the-counter market. Okay, it's not an actual exchange. Okay, but we all know now and after a while that that's not the cause of the problem. Okay, we know that oil's been on a wild ride recently. Bob O'Brien did a great blog about it the other day. You should check it out. Alright, but this kind of thinking from an elected official is downright scary. Alright, so in her mind, if we had more regulation here in the U.S. and everything else remained the same, that we'd have lower gasoline prices. I mean, is it possible that our politicians are that naive? Alright, and this got me to thinking. Alright, how can we expect anybody in Washington to be able to fix our economy if they don't know what the root cause of the problems are? Okay, let's take a look at a few of the economic challenges we're facing and what the misconceptions are of why they've occurred.
As always, be sure to check out the written blog at www.mywealth.com/blog. Okay, as we mentioned earlier, there's a huge misconception about why we have high oil prices. All right, how can anyone here in the U.S., especially people in government, think that we should have the power to regulate the oil markets when we don't even produce any oil? All right, that would be like you walking into your local Walmart and telling them what the prices should be. Okay, there are a lot of reasons why oil is going up, and regulation, while it's a contributing factor, it's not the main reason. All right, other factors that come into play are supply and demand. Okay, but more importantly, the biggest factor and the biggest reason why we have rising oil prices is because we have ridiculously low interest rates. Okay, when you have interest rates that are this low, that leads to inflation. Okay, and as we know, markets are forward-looking, so people are anticipating that, in fact, we are going to have inflation, and that's why we have rising oil prices. If the government really wants to do something about high oil prices and high price of gasoline, they should raise interest rates. Okay, the next problem that we have here in this country, we'll talk about falling housing prices. Okay, folks in government will tell you that it was because of the mortgage rate resets. Okay, people had teaser rates, and once they reset, the payments became too much, and then they couldn't afford their houses, and here we are in this problem. All right, the bottom line is that housing prices went too high too fast. Okay, and the reason that this occurred is because, again, we had very low interest rates. Okay, banks were having problems making money lending, so they were lending money to anybody. Okay, any ninja loans, liar loans, you name it. People were borrowing money, very low rates, and they're paying for stuff that they couldn't afford. All right, if you're telling me that a 1 to 2% interest rate increase on a reset is the difference between someone paying off their home and not, okay, I'm going to tell you that they're operating on too tight of a margin and that they've purchased too much house. All right, and for the record, falling housing prices, they aren't really a problem if you didn't buy too much home, okay, or if you're someone who's actually looking to get into housing market today. So, one person's problem is another man's opportunity, as they say. Okay, the next problem we're going to take a look at is ballooning budget deficits. Now, I don't even want to get into the whole, who did what to when, why. We have a problem. Let's get it fixed. All right, but getting the problem fixed, okay, and having these huge deficits, you can't fix it by having bigger deficits. All right, that's basically like trying to pay off your credit card balance with another credit card. Okay, you're not really getting to the heart of the problem. If you want to cut your debt, okay, stop spending. Okay, more recently, we've had a problem with rising bond yields. All right, and just the other day, Bernanke came out and he claimed to have no idea why this was occurring. All right, obviously they're trying to keep yields low, okay, so that they can try and jumpstart the housing market. But this is basically an artificial condition. All right, so he's either being very shrewd or calculating when he makes the statement, or we're in for some serious trouble if he really doesn't know why bond yields are rising. Okay, bond yields are rising because bondholders are dumping bonds as they are concerned about too much U.S. spending and too large deficits. And last problem we're having is with the collapsing U.S. dollar. All right, if I hear one more politician say that we have a strong dollar policy in this country, okay, I'm just might put my foot through my television. All right, now I guess that would be a good thing because it would be an unintended economic stimulus when I had to actually go out and buy a new TV. But I'd rather not look at it that way. Let's face it, we don't have a strong U.S. dollar policy. Okay, with interest rates this low, there's no possible way we can. Okay, there are other currencies around the world, including Australia, New Zealand, that have higher interest rates and therefore have stronger currencies. The only way we're going to get a strong U.S. dollar with interest rates where they are is if the entire world collapses, and I don't think anybody wants that. Okay, so don't wait. Get educated. Come to our courses. Check out what we're doing here at www.mywealth.com. We've got investing courses that can tell you how to position yourself for possible government changes to the way the economy is working. And we also have a currency course which can help you understand the relationships between interest rates, different currencies, and why things may be occurring.
Here's what we do know, that the majority of elected officials in the U.S. haven't a clue as to what's going on in the global economy. All right, to think that they, meaning the U.S. government, can and should be able to control prices and what other countries and economies do is downright ridiculous. Okay, it goes against every principle ever written in an economics textbook. All right, perhaps more of the decision makers that we have in our government should be required to pass a basic economic skills test to see if they are proficient enough to hold office. All right, because now more than ever, we need people who understand what's going on in the world and not just in their own backyard. All right, so let me give them a little clue as to what's happening right now. Okay, every decision that they make about borrowing and spending affects what the Fed has to do, namely put a Band-Aid on, in order to keep us from the brink of disaster. Okay, so we need to fix the problem right now before the rest of the world does it for us. Okay, I can assure you that it's going to be painful, but not nearly as painful as what's going to happen if we don't take action. All right, and all of this starts with higher interest rates. All right, so don't wait. Come to www.mywealth.com. Check out our courses. We have an investment course and a currency course that'll explain how some of these global themes play out and what you can do to protect you and your family's finances. So I'm Mike Conlon. Thanks for being with me, and I hope to see you in the courses.